G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'll be recapping the epic adventure, science fiction, thriller, dinosaur-filled film called Jurassic World, released in 2015. Warning, spoilers ahead. Now let's jump into today's video. Two dinosaurs are just hatching from their eggs. Elsewhere, Zack and his younger brother Gray are preparing to spend the Christmas vacation on Isla Nublar, where there is a working theme park called Jurassic World. Zack and Gray later arrive by ferry on Isla Nublar, where they're found by Zara, assistant to Claire Deering, the boys' aunt and operations manager of Jurassic World. Claire is busy trying to convince investors that the new attraction, a genetically modified hybrid dinosaur called Indominus Rex, will boost the park's profits. Claire sees the boys just before her next appointment at the Innovation Center and promises to meet them for dinner and spend the next day with them. Zara is assigned to keep the boys company. Claire meets with the owner of the park, Simon Masrani. Masrani, who is about to get his pilot's license, flies himself and Claire, somewhat awkwardly, to the new Indominus Rex paddock. When Claire gives him details about the hybrid, Masrani is surprised to learn that she's white. Although he's somewhat shocked when Claire reveals that the I-Rex cannibalized its own sibling, Masrani is impressed with the new dinosaur. However, he advises Claire to have Owen Grady inspect the paddock for weaknesses that the engineers may have overlooked. Owen is a former member of the Navy and works in Jurassic World studying the behavior of the park's 4 velociraptors, the Beta, named Blue, Delta, Echo and Charlie. After training the raptors to follow some of his orders, he's referred to as the Alpha of the pack. Vic Hoskins, head of Ingen's security division, believes the raptors have the potential for military applications, much to Owen's displeasure. However, a near-fatal encounter by an amateur worker shows that the raptors haven't been tamed. Claire meets Owen at his trailer and asks him to help evaluate him at the Indominus paddock. After giving Claire a hard time about a previous failed date, Owen agrees to investigate the paddock. However, the animal seems to have disappeared from the paddock. There is no sign of it and no trace of it on the thermal imaging screen. Owen discovers claw marks on the wall that weren't there before, and concludes that the I-Rex escaped by climbing over the wall of the enclosure. Claire goes back to the control room to see where the I-Rex is according to the tracking device. Owen, Nick Letting and Nick Kilgore go to the paddock to investigate the scratched wall. In the control room, workers Lowry Crothers and Vivian Krill see that the I-Rex is still in the paddock. After learning of this, Owen and the I-Rex workers try to escape. Suddenly, the I-Rex reappears, eats Kilgore and breaks through the gate. Owen narrowly escapes by hiding under a vehicle and spraying himself with gasoline to hide his smell. However, Letting is eaten. Claire sends the Asset Containment Unit (ACU) to take out the I-Rex. They have non-lethal weapons with them because the I-Rex is too expensive to harm. Owen asks Claire to bring the team back because they don't know what the I-Rex is capable of, but she ignores him. ACU Commander Katashi Hamada discovers that the I-Rex has scratched out her tracking implant and notices the hybrid too late because it can cloak itself. Hamada and much of the squad are either killed or eaten, and only a few survive without serious injury. Claire decides to close all attractions north of the resort, while Owen advocates evacuating the island immediately. Shortly thereafter, she receives a call from her sister, who is upset that Claire isn't spending more time with Zack and Gray. Meanwhile, Zack and Gray have left Zara to watch the Mosasaurus feeding show. In the park's monorail, Gray feels devastated when Zack asks what's wrong. Gray tells him that her parents are getting a divorce, as they have both received mail from 2 different divorce attorneys. Zack tells Gray to grow up and that he's going to leave his parents in a few years anyway. The boys reach the gyrosphere and travel through the valley, where they see many dinosaurs running loose. Despite the order to return to the station, Zack sees that one of the fence gates has been destroyed by the Indominus and can't help but leave the fenced area and enter the forest. They see a group of Ankylosaurus, but then the I-Rex camouflages itself again, sneaks up behind them and brutally attacks them. The Indominus fights and kills an Ankylosaur, while the boys flee and narrowly escape the hybrid's claws by jumping over a waterfall. Claire finds Owen so he can help her find her nephews. They arrive at the gyrosphere attraction and discover that the Indominus has cruelly killed several apatosaurs without eating them. Owen concludes that the hybrid kills for fun. Then they find the destroyed gyrosphere. Zack and Gray find the old Jurassic Park Visitor Center, now dilapidated and overgrown. They manage to repair an old Jurassic Park Jeep and drive it back to the park. As they leave, Claire and Owen hear their departure and try to start one of the Jeeps themselves, but before they can, the Indominus arrives and attacks them. They narrowly escape with the Indominus close behind them, but she's distracted by a helicopter overhead. Masrani has equipped his helicopter with 2 officers and a GEM-134 minigun and attacks the Indominus. The guards in Masrani's helicopter attempt to shoot the I-Rex, but to no avail. The I-Rex breaks through the wall of the aviary and the pterosaurs escape. Owen and Claire watch in horror as the pterosaurs attack Masrani's helicopter and bring it down, killing Masrani and the 2 employees. When the boys reach the northern security wall, they see that they're being pursued by a swarm of pterosaurs. Arriving in the main street, Zara finds the 2 children, but is grabbed by a pteranodon and thrown into the Jurassic World lagoon, where the Mosasaurus eats her and an attacking pteranodon. Claire and Owen arrive and Owen and the ACU begin shooting down the animals. Owen is attacked by a Dimorphodon, but Claire saves him. They kiss as Zack and Gray arrive and are reunited with their aunt. Ingen's private security division, led by Vic Hoskins, takes control of the park after Masrani's death. He plans to use the raptors to hunt the I-Rex, although Owen initially refuses, thinking they should handle the situation his way. He reluctantly agrees when is threatened. They release the raptors and follow them into the jungle, where they track down the hybrid. Unexpectedly, the hybrid communicates with the raptors, leading Owen to realize that it was made with velociraptor DNA. The raptors turn on the soldiers while the Indominus flees. Owen finds Charlie and she seems to recognize him, but she's killed by a missile. The soldiers flee and Barry hides in a tree trunk while Blue tries to eat him, but Owen distracts her and she chases after him while he drives away on his motorcycle. Claire, Zack and Gray are waiting in a veteran vehicle when a soldier shows up and is killed by Delta while trying to open the back doors. Echo attacks Claire through the window of the truck but falls out and Zack and Gray manage to electrocute Delta when she jumps into the truck. Owen reappears and they drive back to the resort while the raptors follow their new alpha. The 4 people find Hoskins in the genetics lab, where he's trying to extricate himself from the facility. He explains how he secretly manipulated the Masrani company to create the Indominus so that it could be used as a military weapon with a fraction of its size rather than a stationary park attraction. Suddenly, Delta shows up and harasses Hoskins. Hoskins tries to calm her down, but to no avail. Instead, she bites his arm and eventually devours him. The 4 escape from the Innovation Center, but are cornered outside by Blue, Delta and Echo. Owen manages to reconnect with them, and when the I-Rex shows up, Owen and the raptors attack them, though the raptors all seem to be killed. Realizing they don't have the teeth to defeat the powerful hybrid, they resort to one last resort. Claire calls Lowry and asks him to open the T-Rex's paddock and lure the old Tyrannosaurus Rex Rexy into a fight with the Indominus. For a moment she has the upper hand, but then she's overpowered and thrown to the ground. But before the Indominus can kill her, Blue, who is still alive because he was pushed against a wall, attacks the Indominus, giving the T-Rex time to wake up. The Indominus Rex, which has no chance to fight back, lashes out wildly. Out of nowhere, the T-Rex rises from the ground again and bites down on her neck. The T-Rex and Blue fight with the Indominus and corner it in front of the Mosasaurus lagoon. Just as the Indominus regains consciousness, the Mosasaurus leaps out of the water and pulls the hybrid underwater, where the marine reptile finishes it off in spectacular fashion. Blue and the T-Rex exchange a respectful glance and then head off into the night. The group makes their way to the visitors area of the park. Zack and Gray are reunited with their parents, while Owen and Claire leave together. The now deserted Isla Nublar, the T-Rex walks up to the helipad, observes the destruction, looks out over the park, and lets out a powerful, bellowing roar, claiming the island as hers once again, as the film ends. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.